All right. Well, welcome guys to our first community brainstorm slash suggestion session. Just a bit of background info as to why we wanted to do this. We felt that during our town halls, we always have an AMA, and there's like plenty of questions that everyone asks, but we felt we were missing like a key moment where we could you know, engage with each other and discuss, mechanics or discuss ideas for either the board game or other things about the project. We do have the suggestions channel where we've, had a lot of really nice suggestions, but yeah, we felt it was difficult to interact with because it's so static and can't really get a lot of feedback on it. So we thought, having these little suggestion brainstorm moments would be a nice way to like engage with each other and see where you guys are at with what we're building. If you have any nice input that you still want to share, or things that you would like or would not like. Um, it's just like a kind of like an open forum where we can discuss, what where our head is at, and what you guys think as well. We're planning to do this bi-weekly, so alternating with the town hall. So we'll do the town hall one week, and then this brainstorm session the other week, and we'll see how it goes. If after a few weeks we notice that it's not really necessary, we'll end it. But since we've gotten so many fun suggestions, we thought this could be a really cool way to involve the community even more and just get everyone on the same page. So, I wanted to make the topic of today about the board game because obviously that's like the main pointer of the project. We have plenty of things, to talk about other weeks as well. I'm hoping to do the next one about the metaverse and any ideas and suggestions around that. But we'll be focusing on the board game today. I just wanted to quickly say everything that's written in the Medium article. I'm assuming everyone knows. I'll really quickly go over it just so that we're clear. But if anything is unclear about that, or you want to talk about that further, obviously you can. We just also wanted to give you some new information, like how the um, give like a run through of the game, how it's gonna go, what cards we're gonna be using, just like the general gameplay, what it's gonna be, what it's gonna look like. So yeah, things that we've mentioned before in the Medium article is how it's gonna be an open-ended game that um, you know expansion sets are gonna be easily interchangeable with it. Um, just to make sure that we can easily implement expansion sets and people can kind of customize how they like to play. I always tell people to compare it to something like Cards Against Humanity, where you can just buy the expansion packs and add the cards into the game, or shuffle out ones that you don't like and add ones you do like. So that's kind of what we're aiming for with this as well. So you can kind of personalize your experience with it, or switch out your experience with it, so it's not always the same. Yeah, it's also gonna have plenty of RNG and randomized factors for a higher replay value. We'll be able to tell you more about that when Rune goes over the general gameplay. And oh, sorry, Rune, I was confused by what you said. The bot isn't working?
No, apparently not. But keep going. That's not important.
Sorry, I'll check later. So yeah, we also mentioned each critter is going to be played differently. You're going to have a character card for the critter you choose to play with, and it's going to have a unique ability. So you can see what character you prefer to play with. The expansion sets will also have new characters, and just to again increase the replay value and the customization of what kind of things you would like to play with. Um, and also very important, even if you're dead, you're still going to be able to make a difference. Something that we personally felt was lacking in almost every game is, when you die or you fail with whatever you're doing, it's game over for you, but you still have to wait around and see who wins, and it can still take a while, and then you're just sitting there. So we wanted to avoid that and find a way to keep everyone engaged in a fun way, even if you've flipped out completely. So yeah, Rune will also talk a bit more about that mechanic. So that's the things that were known that we posted in the Medium article early on. We've now, we've zeroed in on, how the flow is going to go. And I'll leave the word to Rue now to, talk a bit more about the flow of the game and the things we're going to have in it.
Thanks, son. So, interrupt me if I get too much into detail, and because I haven't prepared this a bit too much, so my explanation might be bad. Um, but yeah, we've worked on these mechanics for a while, and the first mechanic is how is a board created? Because we promised an RNG created board, so you have this stack of tiles, and every turn, as long as there are tiles remaining in the stack, the player at hand picks a tile and can build the board. Um, oh, Angry Bob was just slow.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's Sunday night for him as well. Must be the time. Must be like the summertime. All right. Um, where was I? So you get the tiles. You place the tile, and that's how the board is created. So every time you play the game, a different board is created because the tiles are coming in different order. People placing them on different spots. So you can't predict where every building is going to be, where the dangers are. So that provides a nice new level of replayability. Something where I was pretty much a fan of, and I'm glad I could convince Fluff and Arno about this. So that's the first step of your turn. Then you can move your critter across the board. Sorry, forgot a pretty important detail. You start the game with 3 mission cards. Numbers, etc., are of course subject to change when we do more and more playtesting and get more and more feedback. But for now, it's stuck to 3, and this is your main goal of the game. Completing these missions is what keeps you sane. These are simple tasks like get a cup of coffee, do your dry cleaning, etc., etc. Basic life stuff, which is made harder by a fucked up day. So you're supposed to get a coffee, but the barista sucks, something like that. And every turn there will be things making your life hard, other players making you miserable, so you lose your sanity, you become more and more enraged. But these tasks provide a bit of sanity, a bit of clarity, which holds back the rage. Um, and when you complete the mission, you can draw a new mission card, so you always have 3 missions to do. So, for example, if you have to go to the coffee shop to get a cup of coffee, but of course the coffee shop is a tile, which could be at the bottom of the pile, there's always something you can do. This is something we need to find a balance in. We might have to add like a discard mechanic. If there's really 3 mission cards you can't play, that there's something you can do. But this is something still we're testing out right now what the best approach is. So that's what you have to do each turn. So you start your turn, you play your tile card, and then you move. And every tile has a different set of event cards, or reward cards, or treasure cards, something like that. So this kind of decides what route you're willing to take, you can take a shortcut, which leads you through a lot of events. And fair warning, these events suck. These are mostly bad things happening to you, um, like stepping in dog shit, people throwing stuff at you, getting a bad haircut, all these things that make you pissed off. So event cards are like generally best avoided, but of course you can use this against people standing on the tiles against your fellow players. So there's a bit of tactic you have to do there, and some tiles may have higher event cards, but also higher rewards. And these rewards are a form of cards you can use to uh, screw over your opponents or protect yourself. Like you can have nice shiny rain boots, rubber booties, which protect you against like a rain event card or something like that. So a little bit gear like in Munchkin, or like effect cards you can use against your opponents. So those are pretty much all the cards we have. So we have events, the tiles, the gear slash treasure cards, and the mission cards. So that's actually basically it. That's the basic flow. You try to complete missions, and everything works against you. And while you can complete missions, the game is set up in a way that's you'll probably get more rage than you get sanity points. And once your rage reaches a certain limit, you completely flip out and you lose the game. Now, Fluff already mentioned, this doesn't mean this is the end for you. You just can't win anymore, but you still get to screw over your opponents. So you flip your player card over. Your player card you already saw the preview of, I think, the sneak peek.
Yeah.
Um, I really like those. When you flip them over, you turn into a Mega Crank, and you have your special way to screwing over other players. This is we added this mechanic for two reasons. The first one is what Fluff said. So you keep to be you get to be part of the game till the end. And the other reason is we kind of want to have like a death clock mechanic, so the game doesn't last forever. Because you can gain sanity and lose sanity, or rage and whatever we end up calling them. And we were a bit afraid that if the balance isn't struck right, if you get really lucky, you can keep doing missions and keep avoiding other players and yeah, just keep playing the game forever. And we wanted some kind of mechanic which made sure that wasn't possible, that things would work out
Like an
badly for
enraged
you.
timer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, like an enraged timer. So in this way, the other players act like the enraged timer. And that's basically the basic setup we have right now. So what we're now creating is different locations and of course the different events. These go hand in hand. As well as creating the 7 critters, making sure their abilities are aligned, and where they aligned, not aligned, different enough, separate enough. So, and also one thing we're still debating is, so this might be a good point to get some feedback on. Do we want to have dice for the movement? Um, do we want like the raccoon and the cat have different movement speeds? Like every turn the cat can move 6 spaces and the raccoon can only move 5, something like that. Or do we want to have like weighted dice? Like every critter gets his own die, and for the bunny it goes from 2 to 6, and from the raccoon it goes from 1 to 5, and you have like 2 fields of 1 and only one of 5 and something. Um, it feels like extra added layer of complexity which might interrupt the flow. You have to roll a die every turn if you just know what you're gonna have. So this is like, is the added complexity worth it, or is just adding more stuff to do every turn which doesn't add to the whole flow? Of course, having a bad die roll makes you cranky, which is part of the team. So this is a thing we're playtesting right now. Um, yeah, as I don't know how to pronounce your name, but whatever you said, the smoothness of gameplay is very important. Um, yeah, that's something we're constantly playtesting because the first draft, me and Fluffhead, this was before Arna joined, we instantly agreed this isn't smooth. There's something missing. We're overthinking some things and undercomplicating other things. So, but this was 5 years ago. We've gone through a couple of
It was also
iterations
a
already.
totally different game then.
Yeah, it
Still,
was an
it was a
entirely different
card
game then.
game.
Yeah.
We didn't have tiles or anything. So
So, yeah, I just want to mention this is something we keep at heart. It's very important for us. We want this to be like a fun game you can pick up and play, where you don't have to read through a whole booklet of rules. And when you pick it up 6 months later, you completely forget it and have to read the rules again. Um, like Fluff and I have two kids. We usually play the easy, fun, quick 10-minute setup games.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, like the more complex games obviously have their value, and there's a time and place for it. But we are definitely going for like just like a fun, easy but funny game that you can whip out if you have an hour and a half to spare, something like that.
yeah, exactly. So that's basically the flow of the game. Looking forward to your thoughts on it. If you have anything to say. And yeah, what we're currently developing is the event cards and the tiles now mostly. That's what we're focusing on. And we are fine tuning the player characters, the critters themselves, while we playtest.
Yeah, we live a busy and stressed life as well. So maybe I'll also read what people say. For the recording, it's easier if people know what people are typing. So for people listening to this afterwards, there's people talking in the general chat. We'll be going back and forth with what they're saying there. So yeah, people do recognize, or at least one person recognizes what we're saying. When you have a busy and stressed life, you don't always have the time to start a very technical and difficult game. So having some fun, easy to play games like this is definitely very valuable. Um, yeah, I think Rune, you said everything really well about the flow and stuff. Um, so that's definitely, that's what we're playtesting right now. We're having a lot of fun with it, so I do feel it's definitely fun. um, Let me just read out loud what Caramella said. So the point here is that you give specific speed for each critter type. It could affect too much the flow of the game. Am I right? Um, I think no. The specific speed per critter type would be like the easy solution. The reason why we might make it a die roll is one, it would add an additional randomized component for extra replayability, and just another thing that you as a character can do. But we don't want to add a die just to add stuff. We feel like it has to make it more fun, and we're not sure what would be the most fun. If speed is just set per critter and you can build your turn around that, knowing what the speed will be, or if it's random and you can't really strategize around that yet, and it can make you cranky as well. Mexican blend is late. No, no, sorry. um,
Actually, if we get the playtest version out in time, this might be something we can have the vote on.
yeah, definitely. That's also something that I want to bring forward here. We want to involve the community a lot more. Now that we have the gameplay down and stuff, and there's a lot of testing to be done. There's going to be a lot more, votes, governance votes to, get opinions to see what everyone prefers or likes. So yeah, this is a perfect example of something that, is very personal. And we'd love to know what the community prefers.
Yeah, and of course, depending on production costs, we can add both rules, like the tactical version or the RNG version. But again, that feels like something you have to read in the rules. We want to keep it simple. Um, yeah, that's something we're debating and playtesting. So we'll keep you updated on that. Yeah, exactly, Caramel. Simple rules are key. Hey, hi, Mexican Blend. Thanks for joining. And Fruit Loops ask a question. Is there like a challenge another player type of card where you can gain or lose anger levels? Not, I don't think gain. There will be cards where you can like have risk it with another player, and like either of you will lose anger or gain anger, of course. But not sure. I don't think we have a specific card like that yet, but it won't be like a whole different mechanic. It would like either be an event card where you can say you and a critter of your choice have to battle it out some way or another, and the loser gains two anger or something like that. So either an event card or like the treasure card I said mentioned before, um, where you can say an example we had was you can join an event, or no, you can switch your place with another critter. So if an event happens to you and you're about to lose two anger, you can switch places with him and it happens to him. Something like that. So there will definitely be player interaction, but like not a specific challenge. There's not like battling or something like that. There's not strength or damage or anything like that. But there will be ways for you to affect the anger of your opponent.
Yeah, because I mean, what you said, like completing missions will reduce your anger for a bit. But screwing other people can also make you feel better at times. So that's kind of the idea behind that.
It
A
will make
lot
you
of
feel better as a player.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of things are gonna piss you off, and you just have to find the little pieces of happiness when you can screw over someone else, or you finally get that coffee that you really, really need. Those things are gonna, cheer you up just a little bit momentarily to help you last a few more hours in game. Um, but yeah, like Rune said, we don't have any plans for specific damage or like how to combat or stuff like that. Um,
Mexican Blend asks, is there a framework for the game, like a style of Monopoly, Catan, or something like that? So it's actually a mixture of a couple of games me, Fluff, and Arno like. So for example, we have the mission system from Ticket to Ride, which Arno really loves. Um, but the RNG board, like the creation of the board, is more like either Munchkin Quest, if you know that, or Zombies, if you know that. So it has been done before, so we have some place to draw our inspiration. But we do want to make it our own, of course. And this will be mostly seen in like the flow. We want to create a certain atmosphere, and that will be our own. But this doesn't mean we can't borrow mechanics or learn from other games who've done it so good. And if you combine them, you can create a whole different new game. Like in video games, for example, Borderlands combined RPG and first-person shooter elements and created their own thing that really feels unique. Mostly because of the humor, the writing, the atmosphere, and just yeah, art style as well. And that's something that drives us. We can learn from other games. We have to learn from other games because we're a bit inexperienced, um, creating wise, not playing wise. So that's why we were borrowing elements for other games, but really want to create our own thing. Um, I hope that's an answer to your question. Is the game built to make us appreciate life more? No, if that happens, we have failed. Um,
You have to find it brutally true and then, ponder the meaning of life.
Uh,
if you don't want to go outside the next day, we've done our we've done our job.
no, all in all, we do want to make it fun. Or funny, at least.
Mhm.
So, I don't know if it's actually gonna make you appreciate life more, but maybe there's some cards in there that will make you think, like, oh my god, this happens to me so much. This is so relatable, and I get so pissed off about it. Maybe there's another way I can approach this. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe there's lessons to take away from it.
Oh, Mexican blend suggestion is amazing.
Wait, Caramella asked something first, or said something first. I'm
I
not there
know,
yet.
but the
Sorry.
suggestion is so amazing. I'm just gonna skip right past that.
Okay.
I'll get back to that. But
uh,
will there be a custom dice with one side that has "fuck my life" on it? That is
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's really
Now I
cool.
want to add the dice just for that.
Yeah, I like it.
If there's gonna be dice, we'll do it.
It's like a
Uh,
critical fail.
and we'll mention you in the booklet uh,
Yeah, yeah,
for
exactly.
proposing the ID.
I'm writing
That's
it down.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to say, like, we've had the most amazing suggestions from people. Like, when we started the project, we didn't even have a digital version, or we didn't have anything in the metaverse. Those were all ideas from the community, which are now, we're building into something great. So, I think, together with the community, us all together, we can create something even better than what we were originally planning. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. One step closer to Rune's approval. Definitely true.
Yeah, I was about to give it, but I can't because Fluff forbade me to give the roll because it's on the wheel. I can only give it when it's on the wheel.
No, no, it's on in the shop for like
Oh,
40,
in the shop, yeah.
400,
Yeah.
400 dollars.
400,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not gonna make people save for it and then just give it away to others. You can't do that.
it's worth more than the custom Arno style PFP.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. It's my secret approval.
I don't even have his approval.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Um, so, what's the question about
Well,
from Caramella?
Caramella just said, could be a cool mission, which once completed can not only show your anger, but also increase the anger level of one opponent of your choice. Yeah, definitely.
That's something to think about. I Yeah, I kind of like it. Um, might be like a bit high risk, high reward. Like we could give the player a choice. Like either, but yeah, it has to fit thematically, if that's English.
Yeah.
With the mission, like it has to make sense that you piss someone. Like if you get a coffee, you either drink the coffee and relax, or throw it in someone's face and piss them off. So it would be an either or, like you either relax a bit or you piss someone off. That might be a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, but I think
Like,
there's definitely ways to make it fit the story, because I think that's really important to make it fit the story.
yeah,
Like you can be like in the what's the place called where you do laundry?
laundromat.
Yeah, you can't be there and then piss someone off in the coffee shop without maybe sending a text or something, Like if the person in the coffee shop succeeds in getting the coffee, they can send an angry text like, haha, I got coffee and you don't. Just stupid example, but I mean, if we
Hmm.
can make it work like that, that would be really nice.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, cool, cool. So yeah, that's kind of the mechanic that we're going with, that we're fleshing out. You can expect like a lot more teasers, card teasers, and yeah, maybe some more in detail explanations. I'm not. entirely sure. But the what I'll have to check with Arno what his next steps are into what he's building. Um, something that I maybe wanted to ask you guys is like, are there specific mechanics that you love in board games or that you really hate? For example, I really disliked once you're, you know, dead is not the right word. Once you're disqualified in a board game, you just have to sit and wait around until it's done. That's something I really disliked, and why we're using the mega cranks in there. So maybe there's other things that you guys have that you really don't want to see or don't like in games, or that you don't, or that you do really like in games, like the missions in Ticket to Ride, for example.
And while you're thinking and answer that question, there's one more thing we like to mention about the board game. We're trying to get as least um, as possible of plastic in the world. So we're trying to make everything out of like paper, cardboard, and wood. Um,
Ecological material.
yeah, ecological materials. That's thanks. So we're trying to get like the critters, like small wooden meeples. Would be nice. Of course, the dice would have been made out of wood or like gemstones for the for the mega crank version, maybe. Um,
Gemstones.
we have gemstone dice, Fluff and I, for D&D games.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're really
Like
cool.
rubies or and garnets and stuff. Like what kind of
Mm,
I'll have to.
wait, is gemstones the wrong word? Like tiger eye and
I think
I
it's
guess that's gemstones. Yeah, I was thinking like, you know, like gems, but gemstone makes
like
sense, I think.
diamonds.
Yeah, like diamonds.
Yeah, we're not there
You're
yet.
really
Maybe
into
for
your
sale.
games.
Um, so yeah, that's what we're thinking about of using materials like that. Anything else you would like to see? Like something we're not thinking about right now. Suggestions like that are always welcome.
or
Um,
specific woods that you really like. I know we have a woodworker amongst us, but or a
I mean,
former woodworker.
so long as it's sustainable and won't yeah, as long as it's sustainable, that's about it.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say like ebony or something like that. That would be kind of interesting.
yeah, and of course,
I feel like that's
anything
a
else?
I feel like that's a wood joke I didn't get.
Yeah,
Oh, it's ebony is like really expensive
Oh,
because of
okay,
how
okay.
hard it is to get and how little of it there is in the world.
Okay, okay.
Well, available anyways.
yeah, like little wood critter game pieces indeed.
Will there be any relation to actual NFT in gameplay? Like, will our NFTs change the more often we play? I've seen projects like Rubber Ducky and Losties where the NFTs change. Just curious. Um, yeah, we haven't really gone that far yet with the development, because obviously that would be linked to the digital game, I think, because otherwise we have no way to track how many times people are playing. um, but yeah, the way we're going about it is creating the physical version first, because we feel it'll be a lot easier to then digitize that instead of making two separate games at once. So we kind of want to get the mechanics down first and the flow down, and once we have that, we can start developing the digital one. And then obviously, we'd love to make it a bit more unique or interesting. If we can link it to the actual NFT somehow, that would be really cool. I know Rune is a big fan of what Rubber Ducky Bath Party did with their parties, and how you can change um, uh, um, what's it called, a trait?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, we don't have any specific plans for it yet, but we'd love to explore it when we get closer to working on the digital version. So any suggestions like that, definitely throw them our way. We'll be, thinking a lot of things ourselves as well, but it's always, good to get your input as well.
Fruit Loops. They'll be a little bit less detailed as that. Do you know the game Root? Let me share a screenshot. This is a game Arnold loves very much. I actually like it as well. Um, they have small wooden pieces as well. Oh yeah, and it will be a bit. I think ours would be a bit styled a different way. But that's an example of like small critter pieces. If you can see the picture in general chat.
I can.
So that's what we're actually looking at. Making something like that, but make them feel a bit more like angry critters. Yeah. Something to blend the metaverse and the physical board game. One thing I'm thinking about, for those of you who know the space buggers, um, they have quantum metadata, which can be adapted. Um, and if you go to OpenSea and check out your Pogger, you can get like different overlays. And they also have something called badges. If you do something in life, like attend a certain meeting of the Poggers or in a certain event, it's kind of bit like a POAP, but you can attach them to your NFTs. So if you go to my Penguin, you can see it has the majority leader badge because I won the majority leader vote. Um, and they have like these badges, and if we could do something like that, that would be actually very interesting. Um, re- this isn't a promise that we're doing this, but this is something we're thinking about. We could like have critter events where you can play, and if you win a tournament or you win the big game or you beat one of the mods, you get to scan a certain QR code, which will lead you to a link where you can link the badge or something similar to your NFT. So if you show off your NFT to other people, you can see, oh, I have won this many games with this critter. Um, for example, if that makes any sense.
Makes sense for me. I like it.
So yeah, currently in talk with the people behind the current team behind Space Poggers and QNFTs. They asked if we were interested in the technology, and we're currently debating it and thinking about it because something like that would actually be really interesting to combine indeed the physical and the NFT. But it would be like something to show off. Um, I can't think of a way right now, like um, the other way around. Once the game is out, you have your board game, and would be difficult to adapt your board game to your NFT. But yeah, there are ways with expansions, etc. That's how we were going to do that.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things maybe, accessible in the merch shop,
Hmm. Hmm.
only for, holders or specific to the critter you hold even.
So yeah, that's the stuff we're thinking about. Um, because yeah, it's the one NFT is not a one and done kind of thing. It's building the game with the community, and then yeah, we want to keep our core set engaged, like they keep their value some way or another. Um, yeah, that's what we're still thinking about and working out.
Yeah, because I mean, long-term plan for the brand. Don't want to make any promises here, obviously, but it would be really cool if more things can come from it. Other board games, other games. Um, you know, in many ways for us, this board game is just the start of everything that we want to do, everything that we're planning. So for this board game particularly, we'd love, to come out with expansion sets. Like I mentioned before, that you can, mix and match what you either feel like playing or what you enjoy playing more. It could give a really unique experience. Something that, we're exploring as well, other than, expansion sets that we will be launching, is expansion sets through collabs. Like allow a select number of um, thinking of the correct word. I'm not going to say high profile projects, but um, validated projects or vetted
High value
projects.
project?
No, they don't have to be high value, but
No, like high qual, like and with the quality of the team, the value of the team, not
yeah,
the actual floor price or
yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly. Like that value then. Anyway, yeah. So looking into collabing with solid other projects, um, and offering them, a platform to make an expansion set or even a playable character in their style. Um, and that could be really fun for people that are also in other projects. If you, for example, um, if you like alien friends, you could also maybe have an alien friend as a playable character, and you could have some alien friend cards that you can add to the pile to mix things up a bit. Just a suggestion there. Um, that can also, kind of make your experience a bit more personalized and linked to the NFTs that you hold. Because we haven't we're in talks with a few cool projects. We've already made some arrangements for a few expansion sets, but they will be available only to holders. Either a Cranky Critter holder or a holder of that project. So, in terms of um, linking the NFT back to the board game, that's already going to happen in that way, if that makes sense. So yeah, on top of talking about more suggestions or brainstorms, obviously since we're looking out for collabs and discussing with different teams already, if you have any suggestions on expansion sets that you would really want to see, or teams you would really want us to get in touch with that you would find valuable or cool, you can also let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate. I know we know them. Turtletown are cool. I know we know them. Yeah, that's true. And not to spill any beans, but we are talking to them already. They've shown an interest in having an expansion set. So got distracted and looking at Rude Game. Yeah, we've played it. It's very fun.
All right, I think if there's nothing, Mexican Blend is typing. It's all waiting.
Going to get it.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Um,
all right.
so yeah, obviously, yeah, it might be a lot to come up with things on the spot. We want to do this bi-weekly. If there's anything that you think of in the meantime that you feel we can discuss, or that you want to suggest to us or have a talk about with the community, you can keep it for when we have these moments. A few things that we can definitely think about and discuss. If you want to think about possible suggestions, it's like like I mentioned, like specific mechanics that you really love in different board games, or that you really hate and you would rather not see. For example, if you hate rolling dice, let us know. I'm not gonna say we're going to listen to you 100%, but it's good to know, what people enjoy and what people think is fun in games. different aspects like the materials we use. Obviously, we said we want to go the more ecological route. If you have any suggestions there, feel free to mention, or even different things. For example, how many players do you feel would you would want to play the game with? We are thinking a max of 6 players. I don't think we've actually discussed a minimum, or did we, Rune?
That's something we really have to test, like a
Yeah,
two-player game.
exactly. Or if it's 2 players, the rules might change slightly, or something like that. I don't know.
Technically, you could play solo until you just flip out.
Yeah, that's true. What a fun game, huh? Yeah. Um, exactly. But yeah, like feedback on how many players you usually play with, or how many people you would want to play the game with. Um, Something else that might be interesting is obviously the board game the holders are gonna get is a limited edition. There's only gonna be um, I have to look up the number. It's gonna be like 5,700 something something. There's only gonna be that many of the limited edition version. Um, and it's never gonna be available again aside from those that you guys are gonna get with the 7 critter and an extra set of cards with NFT related um, topics and stuff. So that's gonna be really fun. But we'll also be making a base game, like a bare bones game, if that makes sense. For people that are not, not holders of our NFT, um, and we're thinking of, we haven't really fleshed it out yet, um, but something that we could, you know, use your input on is that something like the super simple game without all the extra goodies? Is that something we put for sale in our personal web shop only, and people can only buy it through us? Or is that something we want to go big on and, put into retail stores worldwide? Um, a lot of things to think about.
So, a question that Tiny asked:
Hmm.
Can my normie friends play as well? Like the ones that don't speak NFT. Like the version you guys are going to get is the NFT version, which includes references to other projects and just NFT live, but it's on top of the normal board game. So you could technically, I think, remove these cards.
Yeah, because they're just on top. You guys
Yeah.
get like the bare bones thing plus the critter and the extra critter and the NFT content and stuff like that. So if if you just want to remove the content for the game, you can play the bare bones version with your friends.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah. Wait, I missed a lot of. Caramella says he appreciates these events. Thank you. I like them as well. Um, Tiny loves dice games. That's perfect. Rolling dice is more practical than spinning wheel. The wheel could break if people get too cranky. Yeah, that's true. It would be up our alley though, using a wheel.
Tiny, if you're looking for a good dice board game, Dice Forge is a sick game. You're rolling dice and you can choose which ones and even build on top of the dice so that you can change what they all roll and stuff. Very fun.
Nice. I hadn't heard of it. Um, any of you know Box One from Neil Patrick Harris? Rune says no, and I will also say no.
I don't.
Fruit. Yeah, you do or no? Don't.
I don't. I don't.
Okay. Yeah, Fruit Loop says we'll send pics now. It's a one-player game, but have some great things in there that might work. Don't know though. We'll have to think. So yeah, anything that could be an inspiration of how to do it or not to do it, definitely welcome. Um, Yeah,
I think we're approaching the hour. It's a good cutoff point.
definitely. I think I made, well, we made our point. I think we were able to, also say a lot more in depth what we were thinking about mechanic wise and, what you can expect by playing the game. So that's pretty fun. And yeah, something that we are also going to actively be working on, that has been on standby, is to get, attract more non NFT people to the project, um, you know, through the board game. Um, there's a lot of projects that actually did really well by getting people into NFTs, being the first project for them. And I think we have a perfect product here to do that with. But we have been holding off on doing it until we have some kind of prototype thing to show everyone to really, market the hell out of it, if that makes sense. So we're going to be focusing on that first, and then we're going to start marketing it towards non NFT people and trying to onboard them into the project as well. So any tips or advice or feedback you want to give about that is also definitely welcome. And other than that, yeah, I'll just say, if you come across anything that you think of during the week, feel free to either hold on to the suggestions until we do the next event.
Hold your
Yeah,
applause.
wait for it. um, and or yeah, put them in the suggestions channel, and we'll go over them during the next event. That's fun too. Something that I might want to touch up on real fast before we end it is one of the suggestions we had recently. Maybe I can quickly dig it up. Where was it? Um, no. Oh yeah, Crypto Explorer said it. So he was just talking, or she. Sorry, don't mean to assume there. They were talking about Invisible Friends and how Invisible Friends was first another project, RCC or something, and they were trading fairly low, weren't super successful. But when they launched Invisible Friends, the only way you could get whitelist for it was to own their previous project, and that also helped to skyrocket the previous project. We don't want to do exactly that, but we are planning to leverage holding a Cranky Critter um, as an only way to get into different projects, which can also help, our project. Just wanted to bring that up because it was also a suggestion and a really good one as well. Doc's toes. And an HP printer? Oh my god. Is it a Funbox one? I haven't played it, so.
Alright, guys.
Yes, if that's everything, if no one has any more comments for today, I think we can end it here. I'll wait for
Yeah.
like 15 more seconds.
Stop typing. Rune needs sleep. Yeah, the game is in English. Or we could do it in Dutch if you prefer.
Let's not. Here we have Fruit Loops just unpacking his entire game. Alright, guys. Well, thanks a lot for joining. I hope it was a bit clear on what we're planning to do with the board game. We really loved the suggestions, the feedback you had, so we'll be working with that as well. And yeah, hope to see you at the next one as well. Even though Tiny was fashionably late, as was Mexican then. I'm just kidding.
All right, bye guys.
Bye. Thanks a lot for joining. I'll talk to you guys
Thank
later.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.